Welcome to the Smart Weight Loss Coaching Podcast. I'm Dr. Lisa Oldson, a board-certified weight loss medicine specialist and certified life coach. In this podcast, I'll share fresh insights and effective techniques for incorporating mindset, habit change, and proven science into your life. Are you ready to achieve sustainable weight loss, wellness, and longevity? Then let's jump in and lose weight the smart way. Welcome back. Last week, I started my top 10 weight loss myths series, and we covered the calorie hypothesis, the search for the one best diet, fear of fat, exercise as a weight loss tool, and the frustration that comes from expecting fast results. If you missed that episode, go back and give it a listen. Today, we're finishing the list with weight loss myths 6 through 10. Let's jump in. Myth number 6. I need more motivation or willpower to lose weight. You've heard me say it before, and it deserves repeating because it's one of the most common things I hear. People tell me that they just need to want it more, as if motivation were a resource they're failing to generate. Here's the truth. Neither willpower nor motivation is the missing ingredient. Systems are. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings fluctuate. Some days you'll have plenty, other days you won't, regardless of how much you care about your goal. What actually predicts success is whether you've built systems that don't depend on how you feel in the moment. Psychologist Peter Gallwitzer's research on implementation intentions, essentially deciding in advance exactly when, where, and how you'll do something, shows this again and again. Here's an example of how specific intentions can help. I'll go for a walk after I drop off the kids, before I open my mail, works better than I'll try to exercise more. The goal isn't to want it more, it's to make the healthy choice the automatic one, so willpower barely has to show up. When you drop the kids off, it's the cue that triggers the action. I'll go for a walk. Or maybe you've dropped the kids and you forgot about the walk, but when you're about to open your mail, you're reminded by that cue. Next up, myth number 7. I should use protein powder or other supplements to lose weight. This one comes up at some point with almost every client I see. Protein is important, no argument there. But protein powder specifically as a weight loss tool doesn't have the evidence behind it that the marketing suggests. A controlled trial that compared 2 isocaloric meal replacement plans, meaning 2 meal plans that include the same number of calories, that included 1 meal plan with extra protein powder added and 1 without, found no significant difference in weight loss between the groups after 12 weeks. And a systematic review and meta-analysis of whey protein supplementation in postmenopausal women found no significant effect on fat mass or body weight, even though it did help preserve strength when combined with resistance training. Let me say that again. You have to do regular resistance training, or there's no change in your body composition of fat versus muscle when you ingest extra protein. The pattern across this research is consistent. Protein powder can support muscle when you're also lifting weights, but sprinkling it into your day is not a shortcut to weight loss. Whole food protein like eggs, fish, chicken, beans, and plain Greek yogurt does the same job with fewer additives and less cost. Actually, I'd say it does a better job because I have yet to find a protein powder that people can tolerate taste-wise that doesn't have added ultra-processed ingredients. I don't think it's a win if you're eating extra protein from powder that contains sweeteners, guar gum, soy lecithin, and other ultra-processed ingredients. I'd rather see you eat more nuts or fish. Moving on to myth number 8. Using weight loss medication is cheating. I hear this comment often, and I addressed it directly in episode 151, but it's worth repeating because the shame around this myth causes real harm. Nobody calls insulin for diabetes or medication for high blood pressure cheating. Obesity is increasingly understood as a chronic condition involving the way our brains regulate hunger, fullness, and body weight, not a simple failure of willpower or a personality flaw. Taking medication says nothing about your character. Medications like GLP-1 receptor agonists work on those same biological pathways your body already uses to manage weight, essentially correcting a system that's become dysregulated. Using a tool that addresses the biology of weight isn't cheating any more than wearing glasses is cheating at seeing. Myth number 9. Tough love and talking to yourself like a drill sergeant helps you stick with it. I discussed this back in episode 131, and the research has only gotten stronger since. Many of us assume that being hard on ourselves after a slip keeps us disciplined and that self-compassion is somehow letting ourselves off the hook. Researcher Charlotte Hagerman and colleagues, in a study published in the journal Appetite, followed people in real time as they experienced dietary lapses, moments of eating more than they intended, or something they didn't plan to eat. When people responded to those lapses with self-compassion rather than self-criticism, they reported better mood and more self-control over their eating and exercise in the hours that followed. In other words, the drill sergeant voice doesn't produce more discipline, it produces demoralization, which tends to lead to more slipping, not less. The people who talk to themselves the way they'd talk to a good friend after a setback are the ones who get back on track the fastest. Before we get to our final weight loss myth, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor. Ha! Just kidding. It's still me, Dr. Lisa Oldson, physician and founder of Smart Weight Loss Coaching and the new Weight Loss Strategy Lab. At Weight Loss Strategy Lab, we teach, experiment, reflect, and explore the latest science around weight loss, longevity, habit change, and health. I bring all of this to my live weekly strategy sessions on Zoom, alongside our signature courses that you can access at your convenience within the program. The biggest shift is in mindset. In the Strategy Lab, we approach weight loss like scientists, not like judges. When you get off track, and we all do, there's no judgment. Instead, we help you dissect what happened, find the learning, and create a better hypothesis for next time. You can still find the Weight Loss Strategy Lab men's and women's programs at our original site, smartweightlosscoaching.com. And we're back for our final weight loss myth. Myth number 10. Once I lose the weight, life goes back to normal. This might be the myth with the biggest consequences because it sets people up to lose the very habits that got them there. I wish I could tell you that once you hit your goal, you can return to how you were eating and moving before. But the research doesn't support that, and I'd rather be honest with you than comforting. Remember Herman Pontzer's research from last week's episode on how our bodies compensate for changes in activity? The flip side of that is just as important for maintenance. Physical activity is one of the most consistently identified predictors of who keeps weight off long-term, according to data from the National Weight Control Registry. The habits that got you to your goal, cooking more at home, moving your body regularly, managing stress without turning to food, don't become optional once you arrive at your dream weight. They become the new normal that keeps you there. And the amount of exercise you need to keep the weight off is far higher than the amount you need for general health. If you're on weight loss medication, this point matters even more. Data from the Step 1 extension trial found that within a year of stopping semaglutide, participants regained about 2/3 of the weight they had lost. Surmount 4, which is a trial looking at tirzepatide, showed a similar pattern. These medications work by correcting an underlying biological drive toward weight regain. And for most people, that drive doesn't disappear just because the medication helped you reach your goal. Almost always, ongoing treatment with medication is part of what maintenance looks like, the same way ongoing treatment is part of managing any other chronic condition. So life after weight loss isn't back to normal. It's a new normal, one you built on purpose, with intention, and one that's genuinely worth protecting. That brings us to the end of my top 10 weight loss myths. Weight regulation isn't as simple as calories in versus calories out. There's no single best diet. Fat isn't the enemy. Exercise matters more for keeping weight off than for losing it. Slow progress is still progress, so don't give up. Motivation and willpower aren't the missing pieces of your puzzle. Systems are. Protein powder isn't a shortcut. Medication isn't cheating. Self-compassion beats self-criticism. And maintenance is an ongoing lifelong practice, not a finish line. Whew! Now it's time for your NBA, your next best action. Please share this with someone who would love to hear their weight loss myths busted, and choose your own NBA with inspiration from today's topic. You've got this. Thanks so much for listening. If you'd like more support during your smart weight loss journey, check out our group coaching program at smartweightlosscoaching.com. Until next time, stay well and stay smart.